All right, thank you guys for joining us today for our second installment of Pancakes and Principles. Our guest today is Anmin Lau. Anmin works for BSK Associates. He is their South Valley Regional Manager, and South Valley includes Bakersfield and Fresno, right, Anmin? Or
Correct. And
anything in
Visalia.
between, and Visalia. um, and Anmin is currently on the board of directors for BSK Associates. He's a geotech engineer, licensed geotech, and past president of the American Society of Civil Engineers for the Los Angeles section San Joaquin branch down in Bakersfield, and also the past president of the American Public Works Association for the Central California chapter Kern branch. So welcome, Anmin. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very excited about this program right here, my first time.
Yeah.
I'm ready for those questions. Just shoot those bullets.
Sounds good. So joining me here is Alex Jones. He's a part of our YMF group, and so we'll just kind of tag team this interview and ask you a few questions, and then at the end, if you have any or even along the way, if you have anything for us, just let us know, and we'll make this a good conversation, maybe a two-way interview if you got some questions at the end. So I'll start it off here. Since this is called Pancakes with Principles, what did you make this morning for breakfast, and is that a typical breakfast for you?
Well, it's not a typical breakfast. My typical breakfast Monday to Friday, I'm very routine.
Yeah.
In the morning is yogurt, nuts, and banana. It's easy to make, pretty healthy.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah.
Monday to Friday, that's what I breakfast. Today's special day is YMF, ASCE. So I cooked my favorite omelet, shrimp, chive, and eggs. That's what I have for breakfast. And of course, coffee. Gotta have coffee.
Nice. Yeah, I think I've read in like a Men's Health magazine that the yogurt and granola, and that's a pretty healthy breakfast. But the shrimp omelet, that's a little out of the ordinary.
Oh yeah, my philosophy is Monday to Friday, you eat healthy. Weekend, whatever you want. Burger, steak, hot dogs.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like it. Professional Monday to Friday, and after that.
Yep. Weekend, just relax.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't have any pancakes this morning because we ran out of eggs. I think, Alex, you have some pancakes, right?
Oh yeah, I definitely have the blueberry pancakes. So I'll be
nice.
Yeah, and
if I have pancake, I will eat that, Alex. I would love that blueberry pancakes.
Yeah, I gotta have the coffee too. So
nice. So I gave a brief introduction on of what you're doing today, but do you want to tell us a little bit about what you did before you started your professional career and up to that point?
Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Hong Kong. Back then was British, not China. Okay. It became a Chinese territory now. Before it was British. I came to the United States in 1977. We moved to Delano. I think some of you probably know where's Delano. It's a small town back then, 4,000 people. It was a shock from about 7 million people in Hong Kong to 4,000 people. It was a big adjustment, I remember growing up, I like to dig holes, dig tunnels in the background, at the backyard, and my dad every weekend will bury it. That's a fun part. I'll tell you why. That's why one of the reasons why I became a geotechnical engineer. I want to dig tunnel. And now, for example, before I'll play dirt, I don't get paid. Now I play dirt, I get paid very well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Anyway, I graduated from Delano High School and I went to Cal Poly I want to be a structural engineer, just like Tyler. I want to be a structural engineer. When I grow up, at that time, when I want to grow up to be a structural engineer. I went to Cal Poly first year, took all the structural engineering classes as much as I can, even my sophomore year. Then I got an internship with BSK. I had a great mentor. His name is T.W. Lin, PhD, geotechnical engineer. I was like very impressed. I said, man, this guy is like superstar. Yeah. But you know what? He was very patient and a very good teacher, a mentor. And he coached me and mentored me all summer. Very patiently, taught me about geotechnical engineering. So when I got back to Cal Poly, I changed my mind. I changed from structural engineering to geotechnical engineering focus. From then on, I took more of the geotechnical classes, slope stability, deep foundation. We took, finite element is part of structural, but it's good for some design for geotechnical engineering. So I took all those classes. And then I went back and have several more internships with BSK. And BSK say, you know what? If you get your master, definitely we want to hire you back. So I stayed in Cal Poly, got my master, then came back 94 and started working at the BSK office in Bakersfield. In 94, it was a little slow. So I did more environmental work than geotechnical engineering. I did phase 1, phase 2. I learned about the environmental world. That was good. And then 2 years later, things start picking up. Then I asked my boss, I really want to go back to do geotechnical engineering. So I start doing more geotechnical engineering. In 1999, I became the group manager, geotech group manager for the Bakersfield office. Then in 2004, I became the branch manager at the Bakersfield office. Then 2016, Fresno office needed a branch manager. So they promoted me to be the South Valley regional manager to oversee Bakersfield and Fresno. And now I'm still the South Valley regional manager, also the vice president of BSK. And that's where I am right now. That's how my career got started. And I remember Ken Frank when he was with BSK.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I worked with Onman for a number of years from 2007 until about 2013. Even though I was in Fresno and Onman in Bakersfield, I'm pretty sure I did a few projects for you out in the desert somewhere.
Yeah.
Digging my own holes. So
there you go.
So it's pretty interesting. You say that the only company you've worked for your entire career is BSK.
Yes, that's true.
And that's kind of a rarity in today's society.
Yeah, I think it's a rarity. It's a rarity. Before BSK, while I was going to school, I was a box boy on the supermarket. That was my first job. My real engineering job was BSK.
Yeah.
And almost 30 years with BSK.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you touched on it a little bit when you said when you're younger, you like to dig holes and tunnels. I think I did some of the same, so maybe that's why I went into geotechnical engineering.
That's good.
The beginning. But so like you said, as geotech engineers do, you started at the bottom, getting dirty in both the lab and the field. And to many engineers, that's kind of a turnoff when they get into the geotech field and they decide, I'm going to go do something else like Tyler and sit in an office and draw things all day. And but so is that kind of when you knew? I would say it's when you knew, but obviously you like getting your hands dirty. But when exactly did you say this is what I want to do in engineering?
Okay. As before, I said I'm an outdoor guy.
Yeah.
I like being outdoor, even now. I'm at work, I'm going less out in the field, but I still go out in the field.
Yeah.
I decided to be a geotechnical engineer because it's a passion of mine. For example, not many engineer or engineering student will want to become a geotechnical engineer or in the geotechnical engineering field. You just gotta find your passion. Just like Tyler or you or Alex, you will find that passion. Once you find that passion, you're gonna do very well. I'm sure Tyler is a very good structural engineer because he has passion. Same for me. I have passion with soil. It's funny, when I take my family out, if I pass a vacant lot and I see dirt, I'll tell my wife, that's silty sand. And my wife said, how do you know? Well, I mean, I've been touching dirt, smelling dirt. I haven't eaten dirt yet, but I've been exposed with dirt for a long time. I can tell you that's silty sand. One time I went to Las Vegas, and I'm kind of like a dog. When you're out, you get excited. One time we were walking by Las Vegas, and we saw a construction site. I never done work in Las Vegas, but I heard about the hard pan. A lot of you are from Fresno, right? Raise your hand, you're from Fresno. Okay. A lot of people from Fresno.
Yeah, okay. I think most of us know what hard pan is.
Yeah, so Fresno has a lot of hard pan, just really hard, soil. Mm-hmm. And Vegas, they have really hard pan. It's almost like rock. I always want to check out hard pan Las Vegas. I couldn't get into a construction site, but I was kind of watching outside the fence, and sometimes they have little holes. I kind of peek and see the construction worker, demoing the ground. So that was exciting to me. And I told my wife, that's hard pan. That's hard pan. Okay.
That's awesome.
So that's my passion. You got to have a passion. You got to find your passion. Sometimes it might take a little longer to find your passion, but I do recommend all engineering students get an internship. Okay, get an internship and expose yourself to figure out what you really want to do. Your mom and dad said, "Wow, come on, Ken, you're taking 10 years to graduate." I'm just kidding, Ken. Okay.
It was only 6.
Okay.
5.
It's okay. Take a year off and get an internship. If you want to take 2 years off, find that passion, then you know what? It's going to really work out for you later. And I'm very fortunate. I found my passion. I wake up in the morning, I smell my dirt and my coffee.
That's great. I mean, yeah, I would say not many people go to Las Vegas to look at hard pan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I experienced something similar going to what I'm doing now. It's you really, yeah. It's amazing when you can find that passion that you're talking.
Oh yeah, it's just like Tyler. Oh man, look at that suspension bridge. Oh yeah, man, yeah. That's nice.
So, Ahmed, looking back at your accomplishments and even your failures, what advice would you give your younger self?
My younger self, be more patient.
Patient?
Be more patient. I think, including myself and many engineers, I think engineers are, we are built to succeed. We want to do better and better. And sometimes we want to do it quickly. I would say be patient. We have a long time. I mean, to me, engineering is like a fine wine.
Yeah.
As you age, you're even better. And you have a lot of time. I mean, 50 is your prime. So right now, I'm at my prime right now. So be patient. I would tell myself probably 20 years ago, be patient.
Okay.
Be patient. I like that.
Is that just in general, like with career, with life?
In life, I think so.
Okay.
Be patient, and we could talk about later about personal life. I think personal life, you need compromise too.
Okay.
My wife is still sleeping, but we compromise all the time. Compromise is not a dirty word.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think if you were showing her hard pan in Las Vegas, I'd say she definitely has learned to compromise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, if we have another program, I'll talk to you about my personal life with my wife. Compromise.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have you
Sounds
back for that.
I'll be your who's that doctor? Really good doctor in the show. They talk about relationship. Anyway, this is not the topic. Let's get back on track.
Okay. Yeah, so you already mentioned, what advice you'd give to some students, but how about if you could pick any teacher that you've had, through all school, from elementary all the way through college and postgraduate, which teacher would you pick and say influenced you the most?
That's an easy pick. In early of my even high school, college, you would think a teacher is nice and give you a break and give you an easy grade. Those are the best teacher. No, the best teacher in college was Dr. D. His name is Dr. D. He's a geotechnical engineer professor. It was very hard. I mean, if you get a B in his class, man, you're doing really well. But I learned a lot from him. That's one of the reasons why I stay in the geotechnical engineering in Cal Poly, because of him. I really learned a lot from him. Even though he's hard, I learned.
Was there something specific that he did that helped you learn so much or kept you so focused? Or is he just all around good teacher?
He's a good, all-around good teacher. He helped me prepare. There's things that you don't know. Don't come to my office hour and not prepare. Make sure you do your research.
I like that.
Preparation.
What are some of the biggest hurdles you've overcome in your professional career?
Hurdle. I think from a technical side, I think engineer could continue to learn, is the people skill. I'm a very social person, but one thing I'm in communication, also presentation. I recommend all engineers join Toastmaster.
Toastmaster.
Yeah, I've been with Toastmaster for the last 2 years, and that really helped me with not only my presentation skill, also my listening skill. It will help your career, because if you're a better listener, it will help you, yourself, your client, your coworker, your boss, everything.
Toastmasters has a lot of tips, habits, and things that they put in there. What's like your main takeaway from a Toastmaster's perspective? Like,
one of the inspirational story I hear every week from different people. They really inspire me. You could have a bad day at work, and then you go to Toastmaster, and there's a person saying, you know what, I've been doing this because of war, been to very difficult problems. And then you realize, you know what, my day was not that bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, so okay. So you mentioned you're a very personal guy, and I know that firsthand, that you're very easy to talk to, and you maintain really good client relationships. So sometimes, we don't realize what we're doing right personally until someone else points it out. But could you name one compliment that maybe you've received from a client that stood out to you and you never forgot? Or an employee, maybe a compliment from an employee.
Well, let's go with the client.
Okay.
As engineer, we solve problems. there's easy problem, difficult problems. And the client will always remember you when you solve their difficult problems. I remember one project, we were working for Arvin Edison Water District, and they have a failure at night because the developer was digging a tunnel underneath the canal, and the canal failed, okay? Imagine that canal at that time in August was delivering probably, 10,000 acre feet of water to the farmers. And now you can't deliver water. Now you have to turn on your pump that costs, $50,000 a day. And they got to fix this problem right away. So at that time, we were working with Provost and Pritchard. They called me at, it was Randy with Provost and Pritchard.
Yeah.
And Mike Day. Mike Day called me 8 p.m. 8 p.m. It was Friday, I remember that story. I was eating dinner with my wife and my daughter at that time was probably 3. I got that phone call. And you get a phone call at 8 p.m. from your client. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like saying, no, hey, Almond, you want to go to the bar and get a beer? No, that's a problem. I pick up the phone, I say, Mike, how can I help you? Hey, Almond, we have a problem. Can you come out here and check out the problem with us? I said, yeah, no problem. When there's a problem like this, you gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go. And I went out there, man, Mike, that's a big problem. Okay, your canal is missing a section about 50 feet. Okay, and water is running out. What are we gonna do about this? Mike Day said, hey, Armin, do we need to get some kind of geophysical survey and figure out how big's the cavity? And I told Mike, you have emergency here. By the time I bring the equipment, it might take a day or 2. How about this? You guys already have your excavator cat. What we're gonna do is chase that cavity. I'll be out there right now and check it out. So we were out there for, I don't know, all night chasing that cavity. And we found out the problem. What happened was when they're pipe jacking and tunneling the pipe underneath the canal, they hit another water line, okay? Once they hit the water line, it was causing a cavity. Once it got big enough, the canal collapsed. And I said, okay, you guys just have to fix that water line. We'll chase the cavity. And then after we find out the extent of the cavity, we're gonna backfill it and fix it. It took 2 weeks and we got it done. And we were working like 24/7. After that, you fix a problem like that, the client would never forget what you did, okay? That's just been some common sense engineering that day, okay? And be responsive with your client, okay? That's from Provost and Pritchard back then. And about a compliment from my employee, just one word, actually 2 words, you care.
Mm-hmm.
You care. Someday, if you guys are gonna be the manager or you guys already are, you care about your employees. And it's nice to hear from an employee, Amen, you care. That helped me wake up in the morning and go to work and smile. And you work hard for your employees.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's see here.
Do you like to read? What kind of books have influenced you or, had an impact in your life?
It's funny, you would think I read a lot. I really don't read a lot of books. I do like to find inspirational story by talking to people.
Okay. Do you listen to podcasts or, talks or things like that?
No.
Okay.
I could go to the bar.
Yeah.
I could sit down with someone and start talking, and they'll
Okay.
tell me the whole story about their life, and that's inspiring. I just spoke to my daughter. I say, you know what? She always wanted to go Paris, France. I said, wow, you don't have any money. How about this? There's plenty of people who used to live in Paris and used to live in France. Talk to them. Talk to them. They'll give you the entire story.
Mm-hmm.
Use your imagination. I mean, I would talk to Frank. Hey, Frank, how many brothers you have? Oh, I have a whole bunch. I get to know people by just talking. Isn't that better than reading a book?
Yeah, a lot of times it is. Definitely. You get to ask them questions, which in a book you don't necessarily get to do. So
No. By end of this meeting, I'm gonna know all of you guys.
do you have any questions for us, or any
Not yet, but end of the
All right.
meeting, I'm gonna ask more questions.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, so I think we know a lot about your personal and professional life now. This pandemic's brought on a lot of change in the workplace. Or maybe not that much change at all for you, but how's business today compared with business before this all started a few months ago? Have you made any significant changes or the way you conduct day-to-day business?
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of the president or vice president of the company, they run their business by looking at data all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I look at data, but you have this gut feeling, intuitive. You have that?
Yeah.
You just feel it sometime?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 years ago, Bakersfield office, one of my area, and we decided, you know what? We're just gonna reduce our office. We kept the same people, and we cut our rent cost by half. So we saved $60,000 a year by reducing our office. And then last year, I say, you know what? I know the recession is coming, but I don't know when. I think I'm gonna reduce the Fresno office too. So we moved the corporate office to engineering, and we cut another $60,000 a year. That's $120,000 a year we saved. I couldn't predict COVID-19 was going to be here 2020. It just, you feel that something made me decide, you know what, it's time. My philosophy is I'd rather reduce physical expense than employees. And now we're ready for COVID-19. Think about it. After COVID-19, more people is going to be working at home. Do we need that much office space now? Mm. Somehow I was lucky, kind of saw the future intuitively.
Yeah.
Hey, so sometimes you need a little luck mixed in with your calculated decisions.
I know. Here's a funny story. Do you remember Mike Vartanian from Ken?
Yeah, I know Mike.
Okay, he used to be our chief financial officer.
Oh, I didn't know he retired.
Yeah, he left BSK. He's going to retire.
Oh.
3 years ago, he asked me, Amina, how do you know if you guys are making money? Well, you're in the office and people are walking a little faster. They must be working pretty hard.
Oh, man.
He didn't like the answer. He wanted data.
Yeah.
So,
do you see any innovations resulting from this, from like the pandemic, the social distancing? Remote work certainly is going to have a bigger impact in the future. Do you see any other innovations, particularly in your field?
Yeah, someone need to invent a bigger laptop.
Bigger screens.
Bigger screen, or I'm sure we can use a lot more multiple screens. It's hard for me to do calculation and with my little small laptop and do, CAD and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want mobile, but I want a bigger laptop.
Right. Yeah.
You need at least 2 screens minimum.
Yeah, I do. I took one of my screen from work and is permanently at home now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So are you working from home yourself all the
Yes.
time? Okay.
Once in a while, I have to go back to office, print out the contract, sign the contract, get my mail. I've been at my home for almost 8 weeks now.
How has your routine changed? You mentioned, you know, you're pretty strict about your morning, or at least your breakfast in the mornings. How has it changed now that you're staying at home?
See, I like you, Alex. You're a very good listener. You remember. I like routine. Okay. Okay, this is a Tommy Bahamas polo shirt. I like it because you don't have to iron. You take it out from a dryer and you're ready to go. This is my office clothes right now, all the time. When I go to work before COVID-19, I dress like this. Even now, I wake up the same time, eat my breakfast the same. I do everything the same to give me routine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to later on when I get back to office, kind of off a little bit. Really, it hasn't changed very much. I still have the same routine.
Could you share some details of your routine? Like how do you prep yourself for a typical day?
Typical day?
Yeah, like
okay. First, I wake up. Of course, you know, I wish I could get a haircut, but I get a chance to shave, so I got a clean shave. I don't have a beard, and then eat my breakfast. I get to work at 7:30. It's always 7:30. 7:30, I check my emails, make sure I didn't miss anything, and then what I plan for the morning is probably change all the time. I usually more of troubleshoot problems. You know, when a project manager has question about a project, I'll answer. Not a lot of engineering. I do more review now. I don't do a lot of report anymore. I just do a lot of review and a lot of QC work. I do more quality control. And then I eat my lunch about 11:30. And from 11:30 to 6 o'clock, I'm done. I turn off my computer. I'm not working anymore. I want time to just say, time to stop work. I don't work in the weekends unless there's an emergency like that canal bridge.
yeah, yeah.
It's a very routine. 7:30 to 6, then I'm done.
Nice.
Oh, Ken, you mute, Ken.
There we go. Hear me now? My 1-year-old is crying. I didn't want everyone to have to hear that. So you said, I think it's good that you have you set boundaries between work and home. That way, the two can stay separate and really keep that balance. Anyway, I got another question here for you. What did I do? Oh, so you know, I'm assuming, obviously, since you know you're in the geotech business, that the lab is still operating. What type of precautions do they take to stay virus-free in the lab?
Oh, very good question. All the office staff are working at home. Our material lab technician are still working in the office, in the lab. We break it into 2 shifts. For example, in Bakersfield, we have 7 people, so we break it in 3 and 4. One is a morning shift and one's afternoon shift. So if you have one shift potentially have exposure with COVID-19, you could quarantine the first shift and you still have second shift working on it. So we have a backup plan. You can't shut off the material lab because that's the engine of the office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
And so far, we've been good. It's amazingly, BSK has not tested positive with COVID-19.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So besides the lab, then pretty much everyone else is remote.
Yes, our inspector and field technician, our engineer got on the field. They're not, close to anybody. And plus BSK is classified as an essential business.
Yeah. What aspects of live do you think people will appreciate more after this social distancing, and as we're getting back into some cities are opening? What do you think people will appreciate more?
Human contact.
Yeah.
Human contact, social. I think. I like Zoom. It does not. Is no comparison one-on-one or a group of people out enjoying themselves or in the office brainstorming things. I miss those things. Mm-hmm. Even now, it's hard to brainstorm and have really good ideas using this kind of media. You gotta have in the office, and you could really feel the energy. The energy is not the same.
Right.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Well, I think maybe next weekend I'm gonna check for if I have the antibody. Okay. If I do, I'm immune. I'm Superman.
So you're saying, those little, I had one as a kid, it's this little ball that would light up. You put it in your palm of your hand and it would light up. And I don't know if you had one of those orbs or have ever heard of it, but when you go join hands with other people as you're holding this ball, it would glow brighter. And as you completed a circle, it would glow the brightest. And so it was like an energy orb. And as you completed that circuit there, the ball glowed brighter. But like I said, you can still connect via Zoom, but the energy is not the same as having that human to human contact. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like going to a football game.
Mm-hmm.
You get that excitement from to your left, to your right, to your front, to your back. You just kind of built on energy.
Right.
I miss that.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of your hobbies or things outside of work that you enjoy to do or participate in?
Okay, about 10 years ago, I took on cycling.
Oh, nice.
It's my friend. I used to do a lot of running. When I was high school, I was in cross country and wrestling. I did cross country so I could lose weight to get, go wrestling.
Yeah.
Then I have a herniated disc.
Oh, wow.
It just, from wear and tear. Biking is really good. Last summer, one of my bucket lists, I told my boss, you know what, I wanna ride my bike cross country. And he told me, man, Almond, that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my boss, so you gonna let me do it? He said, yeah, go do it. But when you come back, I can't guarantee you have a job. So I told my wife, you know what, I can't take 2 months off. And my wife, she's really good. Mm-hmm. She's really good. She's smart. She said, hey, Almond, instead of go cross country, let's do a little shorter run. Why don't you just ride a long run in California? Mm-hmm. So I planned a ride with my buddies. We rode from Monterey to Santa Monica in 6 days.
Wow.
That was my best trip ever. Yeah, best trip. We did about 50 miles per day. Mm-hmm. From Monterey, we stay at Big Sur. There's a nice campground right there. And then from Big Sur, we went to Cambria, then Cambria to San Luis Obispo, then San Luis Obispo to Ventura, Ventura to Santa Monica.
That's awesome.
Did you go straight down the Highway 1 the whole way?
Highway 1.
Yeah.
And we saw the landslide.
Oh, man.
Look, I rode my bike and see dirt and rock.
Yeah.
That
must have been amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. I trained for probably 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
Every weekend, I'll ride like maybe 40 miles And then weekdays, I'll train for 20.
Mm. Wow.
I really like biking.
That's
You
great.
see the country.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something about cycling, the pace of it. You just get to get more detail oriented as to what you're looking at. Whereas, if you're driving, you just zoom past everything. But
And funny thing, when we were at San Luis Obispo to Ventura, we met a couple from England. Okay, this couple saying we're gonna have a family, but we want to plan this trip, then have a family with kids. And one of them is a structural engineer. Amazing, Tyler. I met a structural engineer from England along the way. Yeah. So we exchange phone numbers. We make contact, and once in a while I text them about, hey, what do you think about structural engineering? And he told me, hey, Alman, we just got bought out by Tetra Tech.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Tetra Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a fun trip. I met a lot of people along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any vacation destinations in mind after COVID, after once, things get more back to normal?
Well, my favorite place is the Central Coast. Of course, I went to Cal Poly. There's several hills I like to go hiking, and right on top, and you can see the ocean, Morro Bay, see the sunset. Beautiful. That's my favorite place, and it's very short distance. You don't have to fly.
Yeah, yeah.
Just 2-hour drive.
That's doable.
Absolutely.
So I know right now you're not going back and forth between Fresno and Bakersfield, but which city do you prefer, Fresno or Bakersfield?
It's funny. I think Bakersfield and Fresno is very similar, culturally, very similar. There's a lot more things to do in Fresno outdoor. Yosemite, the mountain is a lot more greener. Bakersfield, you got the desert. I enjoy the desert too. So it's really hard to pick which one. Of course, I grew up in Kern County. I might favor Bakersfield a little bit more, but don't tell my Fresno staff, okay?
Are you a restaurant connoisseur at all, a food connoisseur?
No. Yeah.
But you do go to the pub, so now I'm going to Bakersfield a little bit because we have a couple projects there.
Okay.
So where's a good spot in Bakersfield to
go to Lengthwise?
Lengthwise?
Yep, on District.
Okay.
It's a big area, so I'm sure they have plenty of room, so you have social distancing.
Okay.
They have good ribs.
Oh, nice. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
And when I drink, I don't drink very often, but when I drink, I like to drink stout.
Okay.
Yeah, 7% alcohol.
That's great. Lengthwise. I'll note that down.
I've checked that place out when I was working in Bakersfield. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. We have 2 buildings on 18th Street that we're developing. So that'll be exciting. I'll be there.
It'll be a good place to hang out.
Yeah.
Hi, Jason Frank.
Hey, how's it going, Onman?
Good.
What's your if you had to pick a favorite type of dessert, or for me it's ice cream, so what kind of ice cream flavor do you like?
Okay, when I was a kid, I liked strawberry.
Okay.
I liked strawberry ice cream until I met my wife.
I feel
she liked chocolate.
Okay.
She liked chocolate. So she converted me to a strawberry lover to a chocolate lover.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I compromised.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's going to be our next segment, right? Compromise.
Yes, compromise.
Well, I think we're getting a little short on time, so how about we open it up to anyone that's viewing live. If they have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. Or if not, then Onman, if you have any questions for us, feel free to ask them.
Yeah, don't be shy. Ask me a lot of questions. I see Elaine smiling, so she might have a question for me.
If somebody has a question, go ahead and put in the group chat and I'll unmute you. But I guess I have a question to start it off, I guess. What is something you think BSK does that separates you guys from other geotech firms?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think all geotech firms are very good. Just like I explained on that project we did on that emergency canal, is how responsive you are. There's a lot of engineers. There's a lot of good geotechnical engineer. Is how you service your client. Service. Yeah. And when they need you and you can solve their problem, that's a client. Client for life. Consulting for life. Absolutely. Good question, Tyler.
Yeah, I think early on, I was always drilled into me that consulting is always a people business. You know, it's the customer relationship and the relationships you build. So yeah, that's very important.
Building the relationship with your client. There's a client that I go biking, camping. We build that relationship. Work really well. The connection. Thanks, Tyler. Great question.
Hey, I got another one here.
Yeah.
What value do you think people get from getting a master's that specializes in geotechnical engineering?
To me, do I think mastery is very important? I think for some specialty, I think for structural engineering, I think it's very good to have a specialty or you want to specialize in geotechnical engineering. I think if you're going to specialize in something, I think you should get your master. Is that absolute? No.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I think Regina has a question here, so I'm going to go ahead and mute her.
I'm just going to ask, do you still have plans to do a cross-country bike trip in the future?
Yes, it probably more of when I retire. I'm 51 right now, and I'm not want to retire anytime soon. I will be like Hugo Kevorkian. He's a K. He worked until 85 years old. Hopefully, when I slow down, when I say slow down, I might be still working 40 hours. And hopefully at that time, my boss will say, you know what, Alman, go and take that 2 months off and go and do your dream and your bucket list. And that is my dream and bucket list to go cross country. I want to go Maine to Portland. No, Maine. There's a Portland to Maine.
Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
Portland to Portland.
The country, and it's not a race. It's about stopping and get to know the location and the people. Mm-hmm. Funny, you know, some people will say, you know what? There's no culture in the United States. There's plenty of culture in the United States. Different area, different state have different culture, and I want to experience the culture in the United States. Thank you, Regina.
Thank you.
Looks like Elaine also has a question here.
So you mentioned you've been with DSK, like that's been your only company that you've been with. How many times have you considered, or did you consider leaving the company or changing the direction of your career?
Oh yeah, I mean, sometimes you think about it, and then you kind of think some more. You know what? Why you want to leave? And a lot of time, when I think of a chance that I want to leave, it's always something bringing back to me. Is the people I work with. I really enjoy the people I work with. Just like Jason Frank used to work for BS. You know, I miss those guys. I work with Jason Frank directly. I miss Jason, and my job as where I am right now is to mentor, coach, and groom the next generation. And I do enjoy mentoring. It's amazing if you could work with someone has a lot of potential, but that person hasn't seen their potential yet, and you could really help find that potential for them, and they succeed. Man, that's an amazing thing. It's an amazing feeling. If I wasn't a geotechnical engineer, I would probably be a football coach. A football coach. You could turn someone, could be average and become not average. That's an amazing thing you can do. We all could be teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Groom and mentor and coach the next generation. And that's why I always want to stay with BSK. It gives me an opportunity to groom and mentor and coach the next generation.
That's a good way to look at it, and it's definitely always more rewarding to be able to do something like that than getting the paycheck. I think it's a bigger paycheck than money. So
yeah, that was a good question. Very good question. No one asked me that before, Elaine.
Thanks, Elaine. Actually I think we got one more, unless somebody else wants to ask another question. We got one more guest question, somebody that couldn't be here for the interview or for this talk, but wanted to ask a question. During interviews, what is something you always look for in a candidate?
What I look for a candidate, just like I said before, potential. If I'm hiring someone, do they have the potential to be what they want to be and what BSK want them to be? I am not the smartest person or the best engineer in the world. I work hard. I work hard, just like my wrestling coach told me back in high school. I remember that day. Hey, Armin, you're gonna be wrestling this guy. He's really good, okay? I think you're good also, but you have to work hard. You gotta practice, prepare, and you can beat that guy. And I remember that day. It was the Valley Championship with Exeter. Very good wrestling team in Exeter. That's just north of Delano. And I was behind 2 points. And I was like, my mind's like, oh man, you know, you got 2 more minutes. How could I beat this guy in 2 minutes? Okay, I got a loud yell from my coach. Remember what I said? You are ready. You've been prepared for this. Your hard work will pay. You just something just click. You just click. And bam, I beat him by 1 point that day and won that championship. And I always remember, it's all about preparation and hard work. And someone put the time, dedication, and hard work, they will succeed. That's what I would look for someone. Do they have the hard work, the dedication, and the passion?
Awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
That was the perfect response.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got nothing to add there. Well, Anand, we appreciate you joining us. Loved hearing all your responses, and it's a great conversation. And, and hopefully we can have you back again. Maybe we could, like you said, talk about compromise next time. So we'll be in touch.
Thank you very much for joining us. That's
thank you. Thank you for listening to me.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your time and your experience with us. So.
No, I'm good to see everyone, especially Jason. Haven't seen him for a long time.
Yeah. All right.
And hopefully I'll see you guys after COVID-19 at the ASCE.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you around for sure.
All right. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Simon. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.